Okay. Okay. So, how are you guys doing? What's the weather like where you guys are at? Sarah, you're muted. You're still muted. I think we have here about 20 degrees minus centigrade Celsius.
Minus. Oh,
Minus.
it's plus 12 now here. Sun is
Oh.
shining.
We have we have just 5 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's supposed to be much colder tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. It's we drove for
Good
yes, Sarah.
afternoon, sir.
Hi.
See,
How's the weather
Hi
where
hi.
you're at?
everyone. Good
Hi there.
afternoon. Good
Hello.
afternoon.
That's my daughter.
Oh,
Hi.
hi.
hey,
Hi.
Hi.
How are
So
you?
so you're
Good.
you're
How are
wanting to
you?
dare to be great too, huh?
I'm fine,
I'm
ma.
fine. Good
How are you
afternoon, ma.
doing? I'm
Uh-huh.
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine. We are good.
That's good.
You come and say hello.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So Sarah,
Hello.
what's your daughter's name?
It's Nora. Nora.
Nura.
Tolani.
Yes, this is another one. Say
Ah,
Hi.
hi
hi.
there. The whole family. You're gonna change the world.
Amen. Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah, your generation, it's up to you. It's up to you to shape the world of the future.
Say
Amen.
So, Ali, how are you doing? How's the weather where you're at?
I'm
Oh,
fine. I'm
it's
fine.
just a bit wet, but it's fine.
Uh,
Nigeria is very hot. Very, very hot.
Very hot.
well,
Ah, too
I
much.
was just saying we have here about 20 degrees Celsius minus.
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 Oh
Everything
no.
is frozen solid.
Now, which country are you from?
Well, right now we're in New Jersey. We drove up from North Carolina yesterday, 11 hours drive. We made it in 11 hours.
Wow.
Okay,
But
you were in New Jersey to back to you went to New Jersey yesterday.
yes, yes. So that's New Jersey. We're just outside of New York City.
Okay, from New York to New Jersey. Ma, which country are you from?
Country?
Uh,
Oh,
the
Aaliyah.
UK. I'm from the UK. Originally
Oh,
from Pakistan.
oh, that's good. So, which country are you from?
that was me? Yeah, I guess so. Well, I'm from Germany originally. I live in the Netherlands.
Okay, sir. You welcome, sir.
So are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
So I have been living my life, the early part of my adult life in Germany also, and but have been back in the United States now for 40 years.
Wow, that's good. Okay, that's where your daughter is in Germany.
No, my son and grandchildren live in Germany,
Okay,
and yeah, my daughter lives in North Carolina. That's why we are moving there.
okay, okay. You're welcome, sir.
Uh, So, let's see, what do we got? We're going to wait just another 2, 3 minutes. I don't expect a lot of people because it was basically today's session is just to introduce the ability to interact, that we can share comments and discussions outside
Oh,
of these. So, there was very justified criticism in some of the recent meetings that I talk too much, and I do that anyway. Just that's just my nature to talk too much. But we really want to uh, get a lot more thoughts and opinions, but we want to make sure that they are guided, so they're on topic. So people, we saw a few years ago, we made an attempt to just asked people to speak more, but we didn't give topics, and the discussions went everywhere. And a lot of people criticized that the meetings that they were not relevant to what we're trying to do. So I think this is a better chance that we use the week prior to the meetings to share thoughts and discussions, and so that the meetings become more of a conclusion. And this is something you probably know. I'm affiliated with one of the largest Model UN groups in the world. We do conferences all over the world, and the approach that the UN committees take is whenever they say, okay, we're going to have a topic, all the delegations from the different countries will study that topic and study what is the position of their country, because they're like attorneys. They're not representing their own views. They have to represent the views of their country. They're diplomats.
Yes, sir.
So the thing is, when the committee meetings start, they create a speakers list of who's going to talk when, and each delegation that wants to presents the position of their country relative to the topic. And then periodically there'll be a motion to take a break. And in Model UN, that break is for so many minutes. In the actual UN, it's usually for days or even weeks. But that time is so that the different delegations can speak to one another. When they heard the other delegations talk about their country's position, they might have said, "Oh, that's close to our position. Let's talk to them about cooperating." And so you get all the individual groups speaking together on these breaks, and then when they come back together, they often continue the discussion now as groups. So you might have
Mm.
anywhere from 3 to 6 delegations will now say, well, we now have a group position and here's our group position. And then they take another break and the groups now talk together and they try to come to a consensus. Over time, they try to come to a consensus. Under a perfect world, at the end of this process, all the countries agree and there's only one draft resolution put forward for a vote. Doesn't happen that often. Usually there's two, maybe three blocks that will each present their final result, and then there's the vote on it. So what is very interesting is artificial intelligence.
Mm.
Google presented a paper about 3 weeks ago, maybe now, where they found out that artificial intelligence had started to do the same thing. It was going and it was creating
Mm.
internally in the
Mm.
artificial intelligence personas. And so they would have the skeptical persona, the expert persona, all these different personas that would look at the prompt, the question being asked from different perspectives. Then they would each present those different perspectives to each other, all inside the AI, no humans yet, all inside the AI, and they would argue. They would argue among themselves which of these answers makes the most sense, is most likely to be correct. And only after a number of iterations where the number of disagreements got fewer and fewer and fewer, then they would, and I forget what it is, but there was a rule that once it got down below a certain amount of disagreement, then they would go ahead and present the result. So, and it could be 10, 15, 20 iteration rounds before they reach that level of consensus. So it's interesting that they took the same approach that the UN does in coming to resolutions. Now, what's really interesting about this is Google, Gemini went and they found where the logic was inside. AI had added some of its own logic that it made up on its own into Gemini. They took that out And then they just told Gemini, go ahead. We want you to answer the questions and give us the best answer each time. And what they found was over a few iterations, I don't know what the time frame was, that AI actually reconstructed. It rebuilt that logic to create multiple personas, perspectives, and debate the results. So I just thought that was a little bit of an interesting tidbit. And I see now we're into the time. So let's get going here. Ding. I'm Bill Graham. I'm the president of the Rotary Dare to Be Great Global eClub, the go-to place for those who are crazy enough to think they can change the world and daring enough to try. Today's meeting will be, by our standards, short. I'm hoping here maximum 1 hour. And the reason is the topic for today is not so much a particular issue or solution proposal, but rather talking about how do we better collaborate and have discussions to be able to come to conclusions or to prepare for our meetings like this so that we have more participation, can have more participation from more members who are informed. This is really important. What doesn't work is to just say, okay, here's what we're talking about. Now, what do you all think? Where you've had no time to think in advance or do any kind of research. And so uh, a lot of people are reluctant to speak because they don't feel, hey, I don't know the material well enough. So hopefully we've got a method that is going to enable everybody to look more in advance on the topic that we're planning to talk about and be prepared, better prepared to speak to that. And that will have more participation in that manner and be able to come to better conclusions based on that. So, um, we tried here. I had built, I used to head up cloud technology at Chase Manhattan Bank a long, long time ago. And we built a knowledge base framework that enabled all the employees in the bank. At the time, I think we were at 40,000 employees around the world, but at least all the ones in the technology area, we were about 8,000 to collaborate and share ideas on things like that. In fact, I still have a mouse pad from those days. This where basically you could put in any topic, anybody could comment on the topic, they could make divisions, in other words, drill the topic down another layer, create new layers. They could link topics where there was they thought there were linkage, and you could add anything. You could link in articles, you could link in videos, you could link in comments, anything. And we had this concept of a topic of focus. So whatever you were looking at was the topic of focus, and everything that was linked to that, you would be able to see, almost like a mind map today. You'd be able to see everything that's linked, and then you could navigate any of those paths to comment on anything. So my dream had been that we could maybe recreate something like that to facilitate the discussion. And it's just that it was taking longer than I hoped. Maybe we'll still be able to get some people that maybe are a little more up to date with, especially vibe coding and things like this, to be able to recreate that structure. But in the meantime, here, working with AI and whatnot, it seemed to be pushing me towards the idea that we would be able to create topic papers, and not just coming from me or a handful of people, but we will eventually get to where anybody will be able to propose a topic and submit a topic paper. And then once we have the topic paper, we will post that as the topic for the week, and everybody can be a commenter. So that means you can go through any part of the paper and you can add it as a Google Docs. We'll always do this right now, at least. We'll do this through Google Docs. So you'll be able to go through the paper and to any point, any individual point or bullet or whatever in that paper, you'll be able to add a comment. I agree, I disagree, I think this would be better, whatever it is. But the nice thing about Google Docs is people can comment on your comments and people can ask questions. So if you come across a section in a paper and you say, I don't understand this, please explain further, then that could be the author, but it could be anybody else that could commit and say, oh, I also have the same problem, or say, I understand this to mean the following. So that is our basic concept for here. And we had discussed creating a special group where we would be able to share the links about, okay, what's the upcoming topic? And I put into that the first topic for discussion would be, what's our club all about? What's our mission? What's our philosophy? What is our idea on how we will function to accomplish our mission? And so I posted that in there, but I also posted a blank document, if you would, asking for ideas on even how we can improve our collaboration, how we could improve the communication on that. So at any rate, so this is what's out there. And let me see here if I can um, let me share my screen. And I'll start off with this. Okay, so this was the invitation to today's meeting. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's in this week's invitation, there's a link to Telegram. Now, the reason we put this forum in Telegram was because WhatsApp has a very significant weakness. If we have WhatsApp and we've got the Dare to Be Great group, you cannot see messages that were posted before you became a member of the group. And since we want to be growing, we hope to have new people joining us, and we want them to be able to see what are the links to topics we've been talking about and other things. So this is why we decided to put that in Telegram, because Telegram makes it possible for new members to be able to see the posts that were made before they joined. So anyway, so I'm gonna now stop this one and go over to Telegram. Okay, so this is Telegram, and I've got a lot of stuff over here, but for the group we are in right now, let me see it. This, we don't need that. So here, this is what Telegram, it works pretty much exactly the same way as WhatsApp. One of the weaknesses that both of these have is they don't support threaded discussions. Now, we could do that in something like Discourse, or there are some other tools out there, but they're still not ideal. This here, we do have the ability to put topics into the in Telegram, and I may move each of these into topics. But the key idea here is that Google Docs is a great way to share ideas on something you're trying to build. It's almost like if you're trying to have a group jointly edit a document. I have a patent actually that I was awarded back in the 1990s on what now is basically the equivalent of Google Docs, that where we did the same thing, where syndicated finance, you got a lot of banks and others that are trying to come to agreements on a contract. And so it's very similar in that way. So we can do that with the Google Docs. And so this is the first one here. I don't, if I link to this, you won't see it. So I'm going to stop this share and let me open. Oh, uh, okay, so
Bill, I'm wondering, many are familiar with the Google Docs. Does everybody know Google Docs? Perhaps you can then skip one or the other thing. Okay, fair
yeah.
enough.
No, I don't know about it.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna bring up um I just need to get to the proper folder in here.
Receive. Mira, it's not familiar, Nixon.
Here it is. Okay, this should work. Okay, now you were just saying you're not familiar with Google Docs, is that correct? Okay. Yeah, are you familiar with Word, Microsoft Word?
No.
Okay, it's just a word. Think of it this way, it's a word processor, right?
Yes,
It's
sir.
so you can create documents. And one of the things that it allows, and let me see if somebody has maybe put something in there. Uh, Okay, so here I've created this thing called Dare to Be Great Share. It's a folder where I'll be putting in all of the different things we want to discuss. And I originally was thinking, oh, let's put in two topics. Um, One is the manifesto about our club, and the other one was the results of a deep research that we did, actually quite a deep research going through about five or six different iterations of deep research on the causes of education gaps around the world and the likelihood of different approaches to be able to really close those gaps. But I'll show you that in a minute. But let me go here because this is the one that we said for this particular round. This is the manifesto. Can you all read that, or is it too small? I think it's probably too small. So let me just one, two, three. Okay. So this is such a document. Now, there's no comments here because what you would see over on the side here is if people had put comments in, or maybe there are. Let me see. Show all comments.
Oh, money.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not seeing comments there. Let me go way down to the bottom.
Oh,
I guess. No. Okay. I don't see comments yet. Okay. So the idea here is that you could take any particular section here. Maybe
money.
this one here, you might come and say, I want to add a comment. So see, you can just come over on the side and add a comment to this particular item. You can get help in writing your comment, I guess, and you can suggest edits. What you can't do, I did not give edit rights to here. So you can't come in and just change the text because otherwise the other members would not be able to see and comment on the original text. So the when it comes time to share here, that you can come in. We gave anybody the link as a a commenter. You can just be a viewer. If I had given those rights, then you'd just be able to review, and then we would have to have the comments somewhere else. And the same thing in editor, you would actually be able to modify the document, which, as I said, we don't want to in this case. On the one where I'm inviting people to enter in suggestions for how we can improve the communication, everybody does have the right editor rights because you're building on that document. I've just asked people not to change other people's input and just add their own. So that's the way this document works. And as I said, if I had given you guys more time than just 8 hours to read this, while most of you were sleeping anyway, then we'd probably have some comments over here on this. But you can see what we've got is part one covers the mission and philosophy of the club. Part two is our analysis of the current situation, where we're far off track on dealing with the major problems impacting the world, and then an analysis of why we believe we're off track and our conclusions out of that. And then a strategy and action plan. What's our strategy for doing something about this? What are the things we do, recognizing, we are not an army here and we are not the dictators of the world. So we've got to figure out, okay, how do we make that difference we want to make in the world? And then how do we plan to do it? And then a very detailed summary, because this outline format for mission and strategies and so forth is somewhat dry. So in the summary, we explain a little bit more of why some of the conclusions are what they are and so forth. And then one of the things you can do in Google Docs is you can put links right in the documents that take you to other places. So because the manifest will go out to a lot of other people, that they can literally click here to request more information, and or they can click here. I took that out for right now. That's to take a look at some of the project initiatives we're contemplating. And um, rather than having that, because we want this to be a discussion about our mission and philosophy and strategy, uh, I didn't think it was good to dump all of our thinking of years, because it's probably more than 100 pages of documents into the discussion at this point. So, but we'll start here, as I said, the week after next. For next week, the discussion will be on our manifesto, our mission statement, and philosophy. And ideally, the week after that, I'll be posting here during the coming week. I'll post or put out there the link to the document that discusses our the analysis, not the well, it does have some conclusions and answers. Let me see if I can just go back to that. Uh,
Non sapevamo all'inizio, no, vabbè, inizio.
okay, closing the education gap.
Şimdi bisküt
Okay, so I don't know if you can now see this, the independent learner paradigm, strategic framework for educational mastery and equity, and um, it goes through and says, okay, what is the new goal? The new goal is about making everybody, preparing everybody to be lifelong learners, independent lifelong learners, and why the existing systems are not achieving the goals, even the goals of learning topics right now. We're getting huge inequalities. I think I mentioned in last week's meeting that they published at the beginning of last year. They published the most recent results of what the National Assessment for Educational results in the United States, and it showed that 40%, almost half, of all fourth graders in the United States are essentially functionally illiterate. They cannot comprehend a written paragraph. 40%. And it's interesting that the year before that, in Germany, Germany published their national results that said one out of every four, 25% of fourth graders could barely read. I think that's the way they phrased it in Germany. So this is a problem in a lot of countries, and it's this report is based on the example of the United States, but the solutions apply equally well to developing countries. In fact, Ralph Swaniker, he's the founder of the African Leadership University, which is in many ways one of the leading universities now in Africa, working to help build an entire generation of effective leaders for Africa. And many of the ideas here match a lot of ideas that he's been proposing for a number of years. So at any rate, this goes into detail about why we have disparity in the abilities, what's it going to take, what's the underlying causes of these, and it's really interesting what it comes down to, and then it provides a number of uh, tables of different things. So, and then it presents all of the key works that are cited in doing this. So this will be for the week after, but this is an example of perhaps the kinds of documents that we want to be able to put out for discussion, so that anybody can say, hey, I have another study you didn't include that has these findings, or you can ask questions of, well, would that apply in this scenario or that scenario or whatever. So let's stop here and go back to me not talking so much and getting your thoughts on this idea of giving everybody a week to be able to look at the research or underlying content that we want to discuss in the following week, and be able to actually discuss that with one another during the week in this fashion. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's great. I think it'll turn the meetings into more of a forum. I think people will be really prepared with progressive commentary that we can move forward on. I think it's great. And I think eventually what we can even do is, if people have enough material prepared, maybe within the week we decide on some speakers. I think that'd be great. It's wonderful, Bill. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Jerica. Yes, Sarah.
Mine is like a question, at the same time it's a contribution. I think we, the eClub members, there should be something like identity card that indicate that really we are part of the system, and more materials that can really make us to know we belong to eClub. There to be great. You understand? Like
Yeah.
the people I was trying to bring in, they were asking me, where is your ID card? Where is your identification number? What does it take for you? What will you show to us that you are part of the eClub? You are eClub member.
Yes,
You understand?
actually, we have a template for business cards for Dare to Be Great eClub business cards. Unfortunately, here because most of my stuff is now down in North Carolina. Um, Hold on, just give me a second, and I think mm, just a second. I'll be right back.
Bill, can I come in?
Okay.
It's you, Shane.
Okay. So this is what these look like. So it says a little bit about the club, service above self. You can see down below my name, it's got our tagline, the go-to place for those who are crazy enough to think they can change the world, the whole world. It has information about you as an individual, your background, other associations you might belong to, your contact information. And then on the back, we have what the club is about, creating extraordinary opportunities for our members, setting goals based on what's needed and not what we think we can do, being the champions of Vision 2030, the world that could be if all the SDGs were fully achieved in all parts of the world for all people, and then dedicated to helping every Rotary and Rotaract club worldwide to be more effective and grow more, to do more and grow more. So redefine impossible, dare to be great. So this thing here, anybody who wants that, I can provide the template. You give me the information, I provide the template, send it to you, and then you just go to a local printer and have them print it locally because it's too complicated and a global club to try to do that centrally. And so yes, so we have that. We also have.
So is there any point where our name can be written as a member along your name at the side?
Well, yeah, that's yes. If you are a member, now Rotary Club's membership is um, a regular member, which gives you all the privileges of Rotary anywhere in the world. That means you can travel. There's 1.4 million Rotarians, mostly business and civic leaders. But there's a lot of people who travel. They visit other Rotary members. You're welcome to go to meetings of any of 46,000 locations and clubs around the world. So there's a number of things. So that's one of the ways one can join and one can become a member through our club. If somebody is a member of another club already, they can become an associate member of our club. So that means they have their Rotary membership through their home club, but they're an associate member in our club. Means you can't vote for things that are, let's say, Rotary specific, because you have to do that in your own club. But as far as projects and things go, you're welcome to participate fully in any kind of projects and things. Jerica, maybe do you want to add anything on that regarding the membership? Jerica, by the way, is our membership chair.
Yes, when it comes to membership, one thing that Bill always mentions is, the membership plus impact goes hand in hand. So the more we drive membership of people of quality, those who are on the same wavelength as us, who want to change the whole world, and are crazy enough to try. That's the mindset that we want members and associate members to kind of sink themselves into. So the more members we have, the more influence we drive. This is what's going to not just move our projects along, but we have certain types of people that will enable us to move the needle as we see fit.
Okay, thank you, Jerry. I see we have a couple of other hands up. Mark Henry, please.
Thank you. I'm in a noisy place. I hope you can hear me well.
We can hear you okay.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm at the president's retreat for our district, but I thought at least I'll hop in here for maybe an hour or so. I just wanted to respond regarding the business card. That these are actually are already available on brand centers. So, Bill, you'd offered to maybe send out a template, but it's already possible to go into My Rotary brand center and then just generate a business card. That might be the easiest, as opposed to probably having Graham centrally generate templates.
Yeah, the one of the things on that is that in our card, because our club has a very distinct interpretation of mission and philosophy, that we want to make sure those pieces of information are added onto our card. And when you go to my Rotary and try to do it there, you get just pretty basic cards.
Yeah, they're very basic, and I noticed like the vision statement at the back. You won't get that in brand center,
Yeah,
and it won't even give you the provision to put text there.
yeah,
So it's
exactly.
one thing not having it there, but at least if it was kind enough to give you the option to put it there.
Yeah, yeah, and so just creating, because the templates are all created, just being able to go in and put in, what we do is people just put in their contact information, put in their other associations that they would like added onto the card, and that pretty much everything else on the card is all standard. Okay, Augustine, you wanted to add something, but thank you, Mark Henry, for your suggestion.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Bill. I would like to, I have almost two questions. Uh, Maybe I'm not aware, but I would like to ask that uh, uh, being in this platform, it means that you are already member, or there is another procedure that a person should be followed so as to become a member of there to be great
Yeah.
or Rotary Club. That is
Yes.
my first question. Another question. In the morning, you have shared the link, which if you need to join the Telegram Telegram platform, but that link it seems to it doesn't open. So what can we do in order to make sure that we are joining the platform of you are joining the Telegram platform?
Mhm, mhm. Now, to join Telegram, Telegram itself, normally, if you are not a member of Telegram and you click on that link, it will give you information how to join Telegram itself. It's a very simple. Did anybody here perhaps use the link and in the process join Telegram? No? Okay. Well, Telegram is
Yeah,
free.
Yeah,
I was
normally
able
the
to use
link
the
will
link and
prompt you if you
join.
Oh,
don't
wait,
have
wait.
it.
Hold on a
Just
minute,
yeah.
Sherika. Just a minute. Mark Henry was trying to say
Oh yeah,
something.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
I said I was able to click on the link and join the group without a challenge.
Okay, okay. So yeah, and I see we have a few others as well. But I was looking and I'm thinking here, well, because I gave such late notice that more will be joining later today. But I think what I may do is I may need to put something out there of how you can, if you send me the information, that I can add you. Depending, there might be a few places out there where the link, because of your provider or whatnot, it's not working as we think it should be working, or if you're using a different browser or something like that. So we'll try to get you added. So Augustine, should I try to add you then?
Yeah, I have tried to join, but it was impossible
Okay.
because
I
it
I
was not
will I
open.
will I will do that. And by the way, as far as the membership goes, yes, there is. Just joining this group is just a discussion group. To be a member of the club, either as an associate member or a full member, you actually have to join. And so we have a application form for that. It does involve dues, a Rotary dues. But that's our club does not add anything to that. In other words, the if Rotary itself says there is a dues to be a member of Rotary worldwide, and the district, our district, adds a small amount of dues onto that. That's all that we ask our members to pay, and we forward that for them to Rotary International. So we don't add anything for our club. Our club is not about, because most Rotary clubs do a lot of fundraising, and I'm sure Mark Henry, you can speak to that, but our club does not. And the reason is because the coin of the realm of our club is not money. We see so much money having been spent all around the world to try to bring about the improvements that we're looking for, and they're not achieving the results. So the coin of the realm of our club is ideas. We believe it's through ideas that we'll be able to change the world. Ideas and words, communication, to influence people, ideally, influence the influencers, the people that do have influence in their country or their neighborhoods around the world. And that includes through Rotary clubs. So we don't add anything to the dues for that we collect from our members. Eugen.
Yeah, I must admit, I've gone through these kind of things, or through this uh, Google document way approach before, and that's fine for others, but to me, it takes too much time, so I can't afford that. But there's something else going on, and that relates to how to create demand for the solutions that we want to get around. And the interesting thing is, we are just going through exactly that question right now with another group. And we have identified the most damaging root causes, what the solution needs to look like, and possibly, but that's still a little bit earlier, how to get this into decision making right away. And my idea is it's not yet finished, but groundwork is there that in a couple of weeks, I hope, may take a little bit longer. We'll bring it in here, review it, see what of that is relevant that should be used. The members decide what's going to be used, and may fill some gaps
Mhm.
for exactly this particular initiatives.
Well, that would be great because when we think about it, it's not so much that good ideas are lacking around the world. What
Yeah,
is generally falls here is when it comes to the implementation. That a lot of people
exactly.
say,
Yeah,
yeah, we'll do it, but they're not necessarily in the position to cause it to happen in their area.
exactly.
So it really boils down to finding ways that we can assist the others that want to see it happen. How do we assist them so it does happen?
Exactly. That's what this is
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Okay, that I'm looking forward to seeing that myself because this is where in our club, this is exactly the kinds of things we need to talk about. We need to be doing analysis. Why have things failed? Including really good ideas. Why have they failed? And what will it take? And then how can we make that happen? And you picked up on a really important thing, and that is demand. There's another paper that we've got out there that in the coming weeks we want to get into, and that has to do with hunger. And hunger around the world, so many people are saying that the issue with hunger is there's not we have to be more careful to protect our food. We need to have more food. And in other words, there's not enough food supply. However, the analysis that we've done say it's not a problem of supply at all. It's a problem of demand. There's not enough demand for food in the world. Now, what do I mean by that? Demand is not need. Demand is need plus ability to pay. And the problem is in the world, there's too many places that or too many people that are unable to pay the going rate for food. Farmers, if you went out there and said, okay, let's produce more food so we can sell it cheaper, the farmers are all going to scream, no, no way. We need less food out there so we can get higher prices, right? And there's a good example that we found on that. There's a charity called Mary's Meals out of Scotland. And they actually are trying to increase the number of children attending school. And they found one of the major reasons why of low school attendance in developing countries is that there's a lot of children who lack food, especially in Southern Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, due to the AIDS crisis. There's a lot of children that don't have parents or the parents are not able to work. And so they have to spend most of their day begging or foraging for food. So Mary's Meals goes and they ensure that schools, they provide the food in schools so that if these children go to school, they get food every day. I think, I don't know what it is now, but I know they had grown already to where they were feeding 1.5 million children in southern Africa, Malawi, up to South Sudan, every single school day. 1.5 million children every single school day. And they have provided the demand because they don't go and take food from developed countries and import it into those countries. What they do is they provide funds to buy locally produced food. So if the funds are there, the food's there, and it's all local. So this demonstrates here if those local schools, if they're able to have the demand, in other words, the ability to pay for the food, the local agricultural economy will provide the food. So this is some of the kinds of things when we do the analysis to better understand what the issues are. So we don't waste a lot of time going and chasing the wrong goals. For example, Sarah, you're in West Africa. I don't know if went as far south though as Nigeria, but I know Liberia and Sierra Leone and the countries a little bit north of you that there was a major push, supported by Rotary actually in the US, to package up food to send to those countries. And now the result is that you can travel through a lot of those countries and you'll see abandoned farms and abandoned food processing plants because all the food that came in from Europe and North America destroyed the food prices. So the farmers couldn't afford to grow food locally anymore. So when you go into the stores, I saw a documentary where the film team went into local stores, and I think it was Liberia, but I'm not sure. And they noticed that all the food was produced in Europe and the United States. And they said, well, can I buy local food? And the people said, "You don't want to do that." And they said, "Yeah, we do, we do." So they went into the back and they brought out some local food. They did have local food there. The price was three times higher than the food the store was selling to people that came in from Europe and North America. So we really got to think things through and not just be people of action that act without really understanding the consequences or understanding how our actions fit to the goal. So I think this ideas how we get the ideas to be able to really engage people around the world and that we think things through so that when we act that we're making that difference that we want to make. We don't want to create new dependence. We want to create independence. We want to create equals out there. And we can do that through education and so forth, but by how do they say provide a hand up, not a handout approach, and also recognizing. I go back to Swaniker, Ralph Swaniker, and he proves time and time again there's this attitude in North America and in Europe a lot that, oh, we have to help those poor Africans. We have to help those poor South Asians because they can't do it on their own. I'll tell you, you just have to go and spend some time in New York around the UN and so forth and see the innovation, the intelligence, and education to realize that North America and Europe do not have any monopoly on intelligence and so forth, that we really need to bring in all the capabilities and skills of people around the world. And we've got to go and make sure that we have not done things that discourage people in other parts of the world from being all they can be. Yes, Jerica.
One thing about the document, you can also use your AI tool to polish your ideas before we come together.
Yes.
That's an idea and a
Yeah.
thought. And using also its features for predictability, you can flesh out your ideas and polish them before we get to our Saturday. We could call it a forum now.
Yeah. And if you've got the pay, I don't know if it works for the free version, but if you've got Google Plus, Gemini Plus, which gives you more space in your Google Drive, but what it also does is it gives you Gemini inside Google Docs, Google Slides for presentations, and so forth. And it makes it very, very easy and it gives you access to Notebook LM. The advanced features. You get the basic features are free to Notebook LM, but there's advanced features there. But you can go now and create a document and then say, oh, the document's great. Now, hey, create a slideshow for me of the document. And it's pretty amazing what it will create. It will also create an audio podcast explaining your document that you do, and so that you just need to make sure you're in Canvas mode and pick the thinking mode, and it will generate all these types of things. And like Jerica was mentioning, it will help you polish your thoughts and the presentation of your thoughts. Maybe we'll do a session explicitly on that. I do sessions on Notebook LM pretty regularly, but maybe we'll expand that at one point and do the latest Gemini features. You can even have it make movie segments about your materials. And if you're going in Notebook LM, it is so easy to just say, "Hey, I want you to bring in all my documents from my Google Docs or Google Drive." It'll bring in slides or even spreadsheets. Bring it in and then consolidate and synthesize all that information and allow you to create video overviews, slideshows, infographics, and so forth. So that, yes, Sarah.
Yes, you were talking about discussion, e-club, and the other how to be a member of the e-club, and the other what did you call it the other time? I think if we are here in the meeting every Saturday, it means we want to belong to everybody, that want to belong to the bodies of this Dare to Be Great by you. You understand? That is why we are here. I think we should be more enlightened about everything. You understand? And at the same time, everything you are discussing since is good. I want us to have, like we in the other part of the world, to be like agents. You understand? Like I said the other day, we are teach to be taught others.
Hmm.
Like I can be agents in my area. See, I put people together because I want people to really come in. You understand?
Mhm.
I want people to really come in. There may be 1 or 2 years where we can have time, every one of us, as we are having this Zoom meeting, we can come together, maybe in either in US, North Africa, Germany. We see one on one as we progress in future. I am beginning to understand what it takes to be among, to be there, to be great, and e-club.
Mhm.
You understand me? So we have to be involved fully.
Yeah,
We
that
have to be
that's
involved fully.
yeah, that's the advantage of being in Rotary itself, because what we would like, our strategy, having 46,000 locations around the world with 1.4 members, with the potential of growing that to beyond 2 million. And these here in most parts of the world, these are the business leaders. These are the bank owners, the newspaper owners, the TV station owners. These are the business executives. So they're people that have influence and power. But what they don't always have is they don't necessarily have within their club all the skills. They may not have the marketing skills in their club. They may not have the financial resources in their club. So what we're looking to see, how can we do something centrally, because we're even though we're not physically central, we're mentally central, if you would. What can we do to maximize the success of all 46,000 clubs out there? Because we know here that, yes, you can go to a club and you can do something great. That didn't change the world. That changed the neighborhood, maybe, but it didn't change the world. So we need to go, and if we're looking at climate change, if we're whatever it is we're looking at, how do we go and coordinate so that all clubs, we're making sure that an issue is covered in all parts of the world so we can maximize the global impact. And to do that, we need people like yourselves to be going and talking to local Rotary clubs, visiting them.
Yes.
It's giving you an opportunity to get to know the powerful people in a particular area. So this is the advantage, because if you go as a member of Rotary, you're treated very different than if you're just going. And some clubs won't even, you've got to get a special invitation from a local member, and this is very difficult. But if you're a member of our Rotary Club, you can go to any Rotary Club meeting anywhere in the world, and they meet every week. And
Yes.
so this is one of the reasons why we do hope to expand. We haven't done hardly anything on membership since COVID started. We were growing here. We won an award in our district for the fastest growing club. But then with COVID, we were known as the club of young people because we had a lot of young people in the club. But we now want to get back into expanding our reach and influence. So one of the things we'll be doing is we're trying to get an opportunity to speak to the directors of Rotary and the top level executives there to maybe even create an entity within the Central Rotary Foundation called Dare to Be Great that will then encourage, maybe at some point we'll end up with a Dare to Be Great committee chair in every Rotary district around the world. So yes, we will share that. We're going to do a better job. Jerica and I will sit down and think through, okay, what do we do here to make people more aware of what we are and why we're different and how we're different. That's why
Yes,
the manifesto, that's why the
mm,
manifesto is our first topic, because we need to have consensus on that. I don't want you going out trying to sell somebody else's idea. I want you going out there and saying, I believe in this. This is the right thing. This is what we need to do.
yeah,
And that
yes.
way, you're speaking for your ideas, for your beliefs. And that's what we're looking for.
Okay.
Okay.
You are speaking for your idea in the Dare to Be Great Club or the E-Club or personal self idea. I don't understand that.
Yeah. So this is why the first topic will be to go through the manifesto. We've really tried to explain in that
Mm.
manifesto what we're about, why we're about it, and what we're trying to accomplish. And we're also spent a little bit of time in that summary of talking about why are things failing? Why, there's around the world, NGOs, governments, and Rotary, we do millions of projects a year. Why are we not seeing the results that we need out of all these millions of projects around the world? So between the comments from people like yourselves and Eugen, who's doing studies into these issues, we'll be able to find paths. Because one of the things about humans, they may agree with where you want to be, the goal, the end goal, and the vision you're talking about. But if they don't see a path that they believe that they can follow that will help get us there, they're not going to take the first step because they don't know what's the first step I should take. So it's up to us to not only be able to say, this is what we need, we've got to keep working at it and not just ourselves, but facilitating bringing experts and others together to find a path that people will believe will get us to that desirable end goal. And that's a big part of what we're about. That's why we see ourselves as facilitators, think tank facilitators, and we see ourselves as influencers to influence the people who can help bring these things about. Because just saying you should do it doesn't cause it to happen. Okay, I think here for today, that was the main issue. I just wanted to present. So, for those that were not on the call today, they'll be able to see the video and what we're talking about here. And hopefully, we'll get a lot of comments going back and forth. Remember, it's not just to put comments, you can ask questions. So, when you go into the document in Google Docs, you can just point to any aspect of the documentation of the document and you can post comments, you can post questions. But like I say, you can also post